Hello, everybody. Um, I'm going to keep this stream quite short today. I've, I've probably worked a little bit too hard, and my fingers are actually feeling a little bit sore, and I'm hearing myself in echo. There we go. So, I'm quite excited. We've had some problems with the graph previously where values were wrong, or we thought it was right and it was not right, or we made a change and there was a regression. So what we decided is we absolutely have to have some tests. And here are the criteria. So I don't know if any of you watching have experience with the graph. Actually, firstly, you can write to me in the YouTube chat, and I'll let you come backstage with me. I'll send you a link. But the first issue I have with the graph is that, for mainnet contracts, we've like the wildcards contracts on mainnet, it can take like 25 to half an hour just to deploy the graph, like syncing time. So if you want to make changes or fixes and you want to work like that, it's very, very sort of difficult to do that. So having something locally that you can test with. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Boom. Okay, sorry guys. Back here. So I was just going through these points. So the first point is that fast iteration loop. For me, that's critical. So I want to have Ganache or something similar running locally. Sadly, I think Ganache is the only simple network that's suitable. You can adjust the time, but there's some things I'm not quite as happy with Ganache and would prefer to use Bidler, but yeah, there's some limitations. The next is like just testing the correctness. I'm human, everyone's human, and we make mistakes when we write code. And the last is regression tests. If I build something and it works, I want to know that it works after I've made changes or after my team members have done things. We want to be able to basically iterate on this code really fast. Cool. So let's not get too caught up in all of this repo, but actually all of it's very simple. So I've got a very simple Docker compose, and it starts up Ganache. It starts up the graph node and IPFS and Postgres. So these are the IPFS and Postgres are things that the graph require, if you can see here. And then, Ganache is what we use to to deploy our contracts to. And Ganache is really nice because we can increase time and do all sorts of things with it that aren't possible with other Ethereum nodes. Cool. So let's start that. Docker compose up. That's weird. Oh, sorry. Okay. What did I change here? That's weird. Okay. Yeah. Ignore that. Okay, so that's started. So we can quickly look at the logs. I use Kitematic. I find it quite useful. Aborted. Let me restart this. I'm not sure why it's failing. Did you change the networks? I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen this error before. It was working this morning. Okay, so graph node. Just make sure I haven't done any weird changes here. No, nothing that could cause issues. I think that's just the auto formatter. I'm gonna delete. Okay. Let's delete everything and try and restart. So this is basically IPFS data, Postgres data. So these are the volumes, if you look here. Sorry, here. And then this is the Ganache data. So I should be able to delete all of that. Okay. rm-rf Ganache data sudo. Okay, and yeah, I think that should be fine. And let's start the node again. And hope for the best. Okay. Okay. I don't know what was wrong. Obviously, there was some old data from last time. Cool. Good old delete and restart did the trick. Okay, so that's the first step. The next step, okay, so in here, this is named wrong. This isn't Bidler. No, this is Bidler. Yeah, some of this stuff I think is old because we're using Ganache, not Bidler. So yeah, we should probably clean that up. And yeah, we're not using this either. So we're actually using Truffle. As much as I'd love to move to Bidler, there were a few issues I was having. So if we look here, we've got the sort of stock standard Ethereum contract that you get with Truffle. Nothing fancy. You set a value and you can get a value. So that's literally it. Then we've got a migration that has a condition. So if it's a local test net over here, it will run these commands, and then we'll use these commands when we're testing. So like I say, this is meant to be like an end-to-end, how do we set up tests for the graph? It's not meant to be expansive. Curious, no comments in YouTube. Cool, so while we're here, let's go into Truffle contracts. Truffle migrate network, not mainnet, network test. So you'll see this condition will be true and it'll run this code. Okay, got it. I don't know what these errors are. Okay, there you go. So it's deployed the contract, and it deployed the contract with this address, 4657, right? And every time when we start this up and deploy the contract, it'll always deploy to this address. And how do we guarantee that? I'll show you now. We use a mnemonic. unfortunately for anyone on the internet, there's no real ETH on this on this private key, unfortunately. But this means that the node always starts with the same addresses, and Ethereum transactions and contracts, the hashes for transactions and contract addresses is deterministic. So that means the first contract a certain address will deploy will always be the same because it uses the nonce and the address of that contract. Cool, so not getting too stuck up on that. The next thing I've got to do is go into the graph directory, subgraph, and then here we go. I've already got it saved. So remember, I've got this graph node running on this port with IPFS here, and then yeah, I just throw it. Oh, I'm very lucky, right? I'm super lucky today. Could not access. Huh. Okay. Graph deploy. Okay, I probably need this this parameter. So let's go here. Access token. Hope that works. No such file. That's really weird. Oh. Okay. Subgraph, integration spike. Now I'm in the correct folder. Now I can run this. It doesn't actually need the access token, or it shouldn't. So let's do yarn. I recently cloned this repo, so I think all of these things aren't installed. It shouldn't take too long. But while that's going, we've got this event set. So we detect whenever the event set happens, which is in the contract. Over here. And whenever this event is emitted, the graph will detect that and updates its state. So let's I think I've got some commands in here. So you can say yarn code gen. This generates this folder with generated code that we use inside our mappings. So yeah, this comes from the generated code. And now, finally, we are ready. Let's see. Okay, I have to run this. And now I can deploy. Great. Isn't that perfect? And here we go. So I can show you what a typical query looks like. Well, let's not do it from memory. So what I mentioned on Twitter is I'm actually going to be using Reason to connect to the graph. And I think none of this was actually working earlier, so I left it just for the stream. So you guys have the honor of seeing this run for the first time. Oh. Let's grab that. And it's missing a closing bracket. There we go. So we can see the value, and over here we're going to have to run the code that basically gets the value. One thing that I realized is that we need to run this async code. So I'm going to clean out most of this. Graph test. And let's say fetching set value, and can remove most of that. Then we quickly come back here and grab this. And the query. And we're going to try and run this, right? So it should be successful. Yep, that's always important. So if I go example query, it's js.promise.then. So that's the second argument. Okay, yeah. Let's make this as not confusing as possible for you guys. So this is a JavaScript promise within Reason. Like I've probably said a few times before, I use Reason because it's got a very, very good type system. Yeah, it's something you have to try before you'll understand how nice it is. But I feel like I'm programming very exposed and naked and can hardly make any progress when I don't have the type system helping me. So yeah, what we need is, yeah, let's grab this. Result goes to js.promise.resolve. Cool. So this whole thing has to return a promise, and let's underline that. And then let's go there and run the tests. Everything else is in place. So it's all about writing a few sample tests. And we're going to do some time traveling too, which should be exciting. So let's go for it. So go into the graph. connection utils. This folder will definitely get renamed soon. I'm going to run the Reason compiler, and no compiler errors, which is a very, very good sign when you're using a language like Reason. It makes me very happy. And now we're going to go node modules. Yeah, we're going to run this. Great. It worked. So this console log here is coming from over here. And yeah, this is some sample code that I copied from the internet. So that's why it's got random writing. But let's make it fail, right? So let's put false, just so you believe me that it is actually running the tests. True. There we go. So false doesn't equal true, so that's that's a fail. Okay, so next thing we want to do is actually return something over here. So something is type array. Yeah, simple storages. So you'll notice here, simple storages is an array. So I'm going to make use of a very cool language feature in Reason called a switch statement. Something, okay, let's give it a better name. Simple storages. And we want the first element, first storage. Okay, and let's, just to have good code. So it'll take the first element if there's only one element in the array, or it'll take the first element if there's one element and a whole lot. So when you see this underscore character, it's like a wildcard. It can be anything. Over here also, it's like something, but ignore it. Like don't worry about it. You can see I use it actually all over the place. So yeah, don't be too confused with that. First storage dot value. Maybe, yeah, actually let's just return that straight. And okay, option. Some. Okay, so this, yeah, this needs to be a promise. So it's js.promise.resolve. And still an issue. Okay. Okay, we're making some progress. What am I breaking over here? Okay, I think I need to add some type annotations here. Unfortunately, Reason is very good at getting type annotations, but in this sort of edge case, it's using this GraphQL PPX, and I think something here, it basically generates code, kind of confuses it. So let's quickly grab. simple storage.t. I guess that's, oh yes, it's Apollo client, Apollo client dot, okay, reason, let's just go to the example code because my memory is not doing me amazingly. Okay, client usage, and yeah, okay, that's what I need. And I'll remove that. Okay, I'm doing that in the wrong place. Oh no, I have it. Okay, I think maybe that's not needed. No, that is needed. I should open this module globally. I see what the problem is. I need to open the type around here. So I'm going to expose simple storage. And let's see. Still not happy. I think closing bracket or something. Okay, let's undo those changes. Put that in curly brackets and do it the old school way. So I have to open the module, open simple query. What's happening? Okay. Kill that process. That's, I've obviously done something weird. I'm going to restart VS Code. CD graph. That's so weird. I don't actually see where this closing bracket problem is. Oh, I see. The switch statement has gone really botched up somehow. Okay, I'm going to copy everything here. Undo a whole bunch. Oh, wow, that's my luck. Okay, so let's go through this carefully. This needs to be indented here. So it's inside this switch. That switch has that bracket. And we need one more closing bracket. I thought we needed one more closing bracket, but it's still not happy. Okay, comment out all of that. Okay. And this will be simple storages. Okay. So over here, we're going to do open simple query like we did over here. Cool, no worries. Then inside here, we're going to return the simple storages. And there's a problem. What's the problem? It wants a unit. So there must be a branch here. So this sometimes helps solve problems. js.promise.t. So we just annotate this, and it's a simple query.t. I'm sure this is very fun for everyone on the live stream. By the way, Jonas, you can use ether.js in Buddler. No, this is using Apollo. And I don't know why I'm getting so completely stuck here. So this should be fine. That's so weird. So on the one side it wants this is the culprit. This is the culprit. So we want to raise an exception over here. Raise error making the query. By the way, Jonas, if you want to join me backstage, you should just shout. Boom. Okay. So let me explain why that was wrong. Basically, over here, this was returning a promise of a different type. So Reason is a strongly typed language, And this branch of the code needs to return the same type as this branch. And over here, I'm trying to make it return a promise of a simple query type, which is the result of this query. But over here, earlier, I was returning a promise dot unit. So this fixed it, thankfully. Yeah, okay. This will fail. No, it's happy. Okay. So what we wanted to do was that switch statement, right? So I'm going to try again, switch simple storages, basically write the same code that I wrote earlier. Simple storage, and over here, that's also a good point. I want to make this be an optional. So this can be null, basically. So then I'm going to say sum simple storage, and the type is wrong, but that's fine. And everything else, which will mean an empty array. Yeah, let's be more explicit, actually. So if it's an empty array, I return none. Right? And here's exactly the issue. I need to change the type to T underscore simple storages. Okay. And I guess over here, if I am more specific, oh, interesting. So that's data. We have data dot simple storages. Boom. Okay. That took me a while. That took me longer than I was hoping. So let's go into GraphQL connection utils and then run test. Let's actually make this a command. Test mocha source test.bs.js yarn test, and boom. Okay, so there's an assert error, but that's fine. We're showing these simple storages. Now we just need to say, okay, let's make it turn true. It shouldn't give all of this error. What is this error? Let's read this. promise rejections. Okay, I obviously am not catching the promise and it's unhappy. I'm not going to try solve that on the stream, but what I will do is take this result dot let's grab dot value, and this should be, and once again over here I need to say open simple query so we get the types. I think it was 16 or something. Okay, that is a string. So, okay. Oh, that is interesting. I wasn't expecting this to be a JSON.t. There is a way to write custom encoders, but I'm basically going to do obj.magic right here. And we expecting there to be a result. So I'm going to say switch on the result. If it's none, then I'm going to say, yeah, there's probably a simple way to do this, but I'm going to just do it the naive way. Some results and over here, I'm going to say true, false. And this needs to be a promise. Or let's put the promise outside. Okay. Cool, missing a comma. And then let's run this. There you go. So it's working. Wait, that should be working. Why? Where's it printing that? Am I running the correct? That would help. Cool, guys. That's perfect. So what we want to try and do now is get this data on specific blocks. No questions. Cool. So if we go here to the graph docs queries, you can do time travel queries, and I'll see how we do that. Here we go. Boom. So we've wasted a lot of time on silly errors. So I'm sorry about that. But let's go block, I think 1 will be the lowest. Isn't defined. Block 2, it probably also isn't defined. 3, I think, no. 4. There we go. So the value is 10, excuse me, is 10 on block 4. So this is the simple query. And I'm going to say time travel query. And I'm going to throw that in over here. Block number. Just by the way, this is using GraphQL. It's using this. It's still in beta. I think it's pretty stable. I even know a few people using it in production. So yeah, very, very nice work that the Reason ML community have done. But there are ways. Custom fields. So I'm going to need to do a custom field on this value, because if I hover here, okay, I've got compile errors. Just if I hover over here, this is js.json, right? And I know that it's a big int, so I need to convert this js.json into a big int. And well, not even a big int. I need to convert it into a string, but obviously strings aren't useful. I can't do maths on strings, so I'm going to convert it into a big int and then also have a big int on the side and check that they equal, or convert the big int that I get from here and turn it into a string. So coming back here, this is how you do query parameters in GraphQL. Block number is an int. Save that, see no errors. And then we'll duplicate that. And here we are going to take in block number. And actually, we don't need all of this. We also don't need this here. Okay. So block number, this will be an integer. And we are going to put that, so time travel query, and I think it's like time travel query make params or something. I've forgotten the syntax. That's why we go on the internet and find out. One of these will have. Here we go. Oh, yeah, very simple. So what do we want? Block number. Okay. once again, I feel like it's because this isn't open. So I'm going to say open time travel query. And then, oh, here's the problem. Time travel query. Well, this line can be removed because I'm opening it further up. There we go. So now I'm getting the simple storage at a specific block number. And we are very close to getting what we want out of the stream done. No. Closing brackets. How do we do this with multiple tests? Oh, okay, simple. We need to put curly brackets and we need to put semicolons. Should be 4, 10 at block 4. And we can go here, make this 10. And over here, we are going to run time travel query. Okay, let's just copy it. By the way, I hope everyone can see my code. I should make a better habit of expanding that. So this is block 4. Time travel query. Okay, perfect. Let's run it. And error making the query. Oh. Block number 4. Error making the query. So it's over here. Strange. I actually don't see the error, unfortunately. Fetchings, yeah. Simple storage is block number. Ladies and gentlemen, I actually don't know what the problem is. I'm just going to quickly look here. It's only the mutation that has an argument. Okay, it's getting to the point where I'm going to finish the stream. But in theory, I'll show you what I wanted to do, even though I've kind of failed. Let's see. This is using hooks, so the syntax is different. But there might be... Okay, that's not useful. All of these don't have arguments. No arguments. No arguments. I'm not expecting it to be in fragments, but let's look. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I actually don't know what the problem is. So I'm going to be block number. Something's failing in this query. Okay, let's do that. Obj.magic. Error making the query. Oh, did I? No? Yeah, over here. Argument variable. Invalid value provided for argument block number. Okay. So the variable block number is somehow not good enough. Does that work? No. I mean, I know it's an int. No, that's not what I want. Int. .raw.variables block number. It's hard code this. Okay, I'm really not sure why this isn't working. I'm going to quickly, as a last ditch attempt, try and get I'm going to look in some other code that I wrote a while ago, well, very recently actually, and it might help us. So inside source, scheduler, this end time, that's what we're looking for. No, I'm just doing it the same way. Okay, I am totally stumped why this isn't working. The only thing I'm going to quickly try is to not put an argument. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's very weird and unfortunate. But what I would want to have is I would want to check the value at block 4. At block 5, it's 12, and then at block 6, it's 14. I'd basically have a test that would do all of these. 14, and then this one will be 16, sorry. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to commit this, and I'll, as always, put the pull request, or it might not be a pull request. We'll see in the comments. I feel like it's something very simple, because if it works like this, it should work with block number. So yeah, just let's check the syntax quickly. Yeah, you just put it in brackets. Yeah, anyway, as I'm sure you guys know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So I'm not going to keep hammering on with this until I work out what's actually going on. I'm obviously missing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm stumped. No idea why this isn't working. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope that was interesting and that you learned something. And I really hope that in the future we're going to see many, many more graphs with tests. Have a great evening or day, whatever time zone you're in. Goodbye.